Hi Paradise Bunnies! So today I'm here at Tinago and I'll be visiting some house museums for the very first time here in Cebu City. I'm so excited! Hi, good morning!
Morning.
This is John and he's gonna be my tour guide today here at Casa Gorordo. What is there to see inside here?
Casa Gorordo Museum is actually a lifestyle museum dedicated to the Gorordo family. This is a very old house, 19th century. Few reminders, you can take pictures, no flash, no video, no touching on the artifacts, and no sitting on the furniture.
Paradise Buddies, follow these rules and you will be totally fine. Okay, let's go!
Sure.
You said that Casa Gordo is a lifestyle museum. So what does it mean actually?
It showcases the lifestyle of the Cebuanos. Casa Gordo is actually a rich family house, so we get to see how Cebuanos actually live at this time. It's not only to the Gordo family, but it's also for how they lived before, what were their lifestyle, what was their everyday life back in the day.
So what will visitors expect to experience and see here at Casa Gordo?
The guests would experience a lot here in Casa Gordo Museum. When the guests actually will come into the house, they'll get to see the big TV, which is what we call the 3D interactive map, which showcases layers of Cebu City's history back from Spanish period up to like 1945, where it all changes how Cebu actually went through. Why we showcase that is because Casa Gorordo is tied with the Cebu's history. As Cebu progressed, Casa Gorordo also progressed as a whole. We also have a lot of exhibits to showcase too. Nowadays, we have the agricultural area, the religious area, and the transportation area. It showcases how Cebu City's lifestyle developed back in the day, from agricultural farmlands up to like industrial workshops later on, and then the tartanillas with the trains. It's a melting pot of everything that they get to see. And it's also here in the house. Aside from that, we get to see also the family's, what I call this, their items back in the day. Showcasing here is actually the chapel. Not a lot of houses in the Cebu has chapels. One of them is actually Casa Gorordo Museum, where we showcase that the bishop before actually did his mass here, instead of going to a church. Aside from that, we got dining areas and the room of the bishop. It's very important because the bishop actually stayed here as he was a Gorordo, and he was also the first Filipino bishop here in Cebu.
So the history here is like a lot in this building. And the house is actually very well preserved. So who is managing it?
The one who's managing the house is actually the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated, where I actually work. It's actually in line to how the Aboitises actually wanted to make Cebu unique. It's just that when we got the house, it used to be very old. So we got the house by 1970s, and then we made it into a public museum by 1983. It's also in line in Eduardo Aboitiz' words that he wanted to make Casa Gorordo as a cultural icon here in Cebu. It's a centerpiece for the culture and the heritage here in the society. So we wanted to develop Cebu as not just a tourism attraction, but also a well-versed historical attraction as well.
So Parian is a Chinese district during the Spanish time. So is it a Chinese house or a Spanish?
Well, it's considered a mix because Casa Gorordo has undergone a lot of changes. It used to be a Spanish house, and then it was later on owned by Chinese mestizos. The Gorordo family is actually one kind of a Chinese mestizo where they already lived there for 4 generations. Although it may be very weird right now to say that it's a Chinese house or a Spanish house, but Filipino culture is already between that, either Chinese or a Spanish or American culture and preserved. It's just that if you see the house, you'll see that the roof is very, very Chinese. It's actually designed by Europeans but are made by Chinese, and then also the house itself, our laborers are also Chinese.
Being Being within Casa Gorordo's walls is like bearing witness again to the Filipino, Spanish, and Chinese cultural blendings that is the story of the modern Filipino identity. From the house's architecture that is patterned in the terms of utility and design from the Filipino payag or native hut, to its Spanish components like the coral stone walls for the ground floor, tiled roof, and azotea, to the Chinese influence most prominently displayed on the graceful curves of the corners of the roof and wooden corbels that jut out of its walls and posts. Casa Gorordo is a symbol of the Filipino mestizo, a Spanish term which means mixed. Being here, therefore, provides visitors insights and the feel of a bygone era, during a time when Filipinos strongly identify with what is mestizo, as it still is now.
I would want Paradise Buddies to visit the house, not as a museum tour, but as a tour around what culture is back in the day. You don't get to see a lot of it, especially other museums. But once you go to Casa Gorordo Museum, you'll see how actually affluent people actually lived and how we showcase them in just one house. You get to see the culture, the heritage, the history behind it. It's not only by the family, but it's also by Cebuanos.
Thank you so much for giving me your time and touring me around and teaching me so much about the history here in the whole Cebu City, not only Casa Gorordo's house, but the whole Cebu City. So thank you so much.
No problem, no pressure.
So Paradise Buddies, definitely come here. An added bonus as part of the Casa Gorordo Museum experience are its souvenir shop and cafe. The shop has envisioned to promote Cebuano history through local products and crafts, so it's a great place to buy locally made bags, clothes, accessories, and of course, books, especially about local culture and history. Management of the cafe has been outsourced to a well-known Filipino coffee shop, which offers its wide variety of favorites that are true to its brand promise of highlighting Philippine coffee and Filipino tradition. Now that's what I call a complete museum experience. Well, Paradise Buddies, that was really an experience. It was like you learn a lot, and I'm so impressed how everything is displayed. It's really, really high quality displayed. It's not just putting things anywhere. It's really well thought out. And I'm so happy to have been able to come here and that John, the tour guide, would show me around and tell me all about the house and the people who lived here before. It was really fun, and I learned a lot of things. And you can never stop learning. Okay, that's it, Paradise Buddies, for today. And I hope you enjoyed the vlog as much as I did, because I really loved learning things here at Casa Gorordo. So don't forget to follow us on all of our socials for updates, and subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell button so you won't miss any adventure here at Paradise Philippines. See ya! Bye!